YouTube! The new box is here, and is it top tier? We're about to find out. Here's our box review. Alright, so first we're getting number C5 Chaos Chimera Dragon. So, again, we're about to go over this. I did go over this a little bit in my other video that I posted, but now we officially get to go over it in the box review. It takes 3 or more level 6 monsters. It gains 1,000 attack for each material attached to it. Okay. If this card attacks at the end of the damage step, you can detach one material from this card. This card can attack an opponent's monster again once in a row. Okay. So right off the bat, I mean, if you use 3 monsters, this will have 3,000 attack. So it'll be like BLS, but it can attack a monster again. At the end of the opponent's battle phase, you can pay half your life points. Target 2 cards in the grave, place one of them on top of the deck, and if you do, attach the other as succeed material. I mean, this card doesn't seem great. I mean, maybe with the new number skill, we got to take a look at it again, but I don't really feel that this card's really good. I don't know, maybe somebody's cooking with this, but this card doesn't seem good to me. But maybe somebody cooks, I don't know. Crystal Clear Wing Synchro Dragon. Okay, so I did preview that this card could very well be coming. Wait, actually, let me do us a favor. Give me 1 sec. Oh, that's not it. There we go. Okay. And bring this over. Okay, perfect. Crystal Clear Wing Synchro Dragon. 1 tuner synchro monster plus 1 non-tuner wing monster. Clear wing monster. Now, I already suggested that this was coming in the other video that I made. And yeah. Because it said level 10, so it made sense. So if you don't know what this does, is once per turn when your opponent activates a monster effect, you activate this effect, this becomes unaffected by monster effects for the rest of the turn. So the minute your opponent tries to activate any monster effect going second, you have this on the field, you activate this, they can't affect it with monster effects until the rest of the turn. Also, it gains attack equal to that opponent's monster's original attack. So let's say you go up against Resonator and they summon like a Red Rising Dragon, or they summon out like a Bone Archfiend. Then this thing will go up to a whopping 4,700 attack. Now they can still run over it with something like, you know, Nova Dragon, but depends what you wait for them to activate. If you wait for them to activate something with like 3,000 attack, like a Scarred Red, because it doesn't have to activate on the field, so if they activate something in graveyard, as long as they don't chain block it, then you can gain that attack, and then this can go up to 6, making it harder for your opponent to run over, although they can still get over it with 6k attack in like a Resonator matchup or whatever. I'm going too far in depth on that, but again, this card is generally really good just to get to that extreme high attack, making it hard for your opponent to run over. And yeah, that ability is very strong. Also, once per turn, when a spell or trap or effect is activated, you can negate that effect and destroy it, so it's a Shien on legs. If the Synchro Summon a card is destroyed by your opponent's effect, you can add a win monster from deck to hand, so this get followed. So very good card. Speedroid definitely get a nice buff with this, so very good. Very good to see this coming to Duel Links. Next, we are getting Trouble Sunny. Now, Live Twin definitely getting a buff here. This is a really good boss monster for them. However, I still think they're going to lack a bit unless there's really... Well, I think that's all their support, actually. No, they got all their support now. Trouble Sunny is a nice buff for them. Is it good enough? We'll find out. So it takes 2 monsters, including an Evil Twin. You contribute this card special summon to 1 Kisakil, 1 Lila monster in your graveyard. So basically, you go through your whole Live Twin line where you special summon both the links from the graveyard, and then you're going to link summon into your Trouble Sunny. So Trouble Sunny, again, tributes itself during any point, summons a Lila, summons a Kisakil out of the graveyard. Then you can get both of those effects since they're both summoned simultaneously at the same time, so you get to draw and pop a monster in the field. Also, you can banish this card from your grave, send one Evil Twin monster from your deck to the field to the graveyard. From hand deck or face up on the field to the graveyard. Yeah. Then send one card in the field to the graveyard. So the nice thing is, after they get rid of this and this card's in your graveyard, this card becomes a Foolish Burial and can non-target out any monster or any card on the field. So this is really, really good. The second effect is really nice on the following turn. Just non-target, get rid of anything that is on the field. And you have to send an Evil Twin from hand, field, or deck to the graveyard. Now, you're probably going to say, what would you send? And you're going to send, I'll go over it, I'll show you later on, but there's an Evil Twin that you're going to send to the graveyard. I'll just go over it right now. I'll show it to you right now, because otherwise I'm going to forget. So the one you're going to send is this. The Kill and Lila. This is the one you're going to send to the graveyard, likely. So, again, this has a random, also another effect in the graveyard. By attributing 2 link monsters, you can special summon this. And if your opponent controls 3 or more cards, they must send it until they have 2. And also, while you have a Kill and a Lila in the graveyard, this card will gain 2200 attack. So this can get up to 4400 and maybe kill your opponent. Anyway, back to the review. So there's that. Okay. Next, we are getting ZS Ascended Sage. If you control no cards, you can special summon this card from your hand. A Utopia Xyz monster that was summoned. Using this card, gains this effect. If this card is Xyz summoned, you can add 1 rank up normal spell from deck to hand. So this card is really good. Just as a Stratos that essentially helps you Xyz summon a special summonable Stratos that adds any rank up normal spell from deck to hand. So obviously this is just a +1. So really good at doing that. So nice buff for Utopia decks. We'll have to see exactly what they end on, but this card is really good for the deck, for sure. Lifeless Leaf Fish. When this card is summoned, you can send 1 fish type monster from deck to graveyard. You can banish this card from your graveyard, target up to 3 fish monsters in your graveyard, shuffle those in the deck, and draw 1 card. So this is really nice for fish decks. Obviously another way that Foolish Burial things in the grave. We have to see what shark can really benefit off this, but it's a nice buff for those decks for sure. Rank Up Magic Admiration of the Thousands. Now the nice thing is, I guess you could search it with this as well, because this is a normal. But I think this is meant for the new Vector skill. Target 1 or more Xyz monsters in each graveyard. Okay. Oh, so that's where this makes sense for. All the same rank, special summon from your extra deck 1 number C or CXYZ that is 1 rank higher than those monsters. Okay. And attach those monsters to it as material. You cannot special summon other monsters during the turn you activate this card. So you're all in or bust. Alright. I mean, sure. This is kind of all in or bust, but I guess you activate this as like, well, it says during the turn. So you can't even activate this as the last thing you do. It doesn't say after this card resolves. You know, that's kind of unfortunate. Well, you know, I think, like I said, that's probably going to be a mean deck. This card's probably not that great, but it's a good effect, but the problem is the restriction is a little heavy. So I don't know how good this card's actually going to be, but, you know, it's definitely interesting in that. Shaddoll Fusion. Now, we are getting this card at 3 in the game. It is a UR. I mean, I really don't have to go over the effect because we already have this in Duel Links already for 100 years. But for all of you who have slept under a rock and have never seen one of my Shaddoll videos or read my guide on DLM, basically this fusion summons using monsters from the deck if your opponent controls an extra deck monster. Otherwise, you're just fusion summoning a Shaddoll using hand or field. But yes, this is very, very good. You can only activate one Shadol fusion per turn. The important thing to note in the current meta is if you go up against Resonator and they use Abyss on it, you cannot activate another Shadol fusion because that negates the effects, not the activation. If they were Void Ogre is now killed, but if they would have Void Ogre it, you could obviously activate another one. But that's the important thing to note. However, hold on. God bless me. However, the important thing with Shadol Fusion that you need to know is this card. God bless me. The important thing to know with Shadol Fusion is this card is in the current metagame is really good. Obviously against Speedroid, they're going to make a bunch of things going first, so they're always going to have an extra deck monster. So going second with Shadol Fusion when the skill can search it for you is going to be quite powerful. The only issue with Shadol that I see is Dwell is going to exist a lot in this meta, so you're going to have to run counters to it, but the skill definitely makes it a lot easier, and we're going to go over the skill in a bit. I did take a look at the skill this morning again, so I'll go over it to you in a bit, but at 3, this is definitely extremely good. I expect Shadol to go back on the tier list again because of, you know, the massive buff to Shadol, so I expect them to be back on the tier list again. Yeah, so really good. Shadol Fusion at 3. I definitely want 3 of this. Speedroid Scratch. Send 1 Speedroid card from hand to graveyard and 1 Speedroid card from deck to hand. Obviously really good. You don't care about the discard. This is essentially win, where you would have to discard a card for itself because you're playing essentially 6 copies of win. And, you know, you can send any Speedroid card, so it could just be, you could even spend the trap if you wanted to, but this is just really good in general. And then you could search Terratop, so you can essentially play 7 copies of Terratop now. 3 win, 3 scratch, and the 1 Terratop, so really good. I actually would like to play Speedroid too, because I'm actually looking forward to that as well. This we already have, Sunny Snitch, but again, like Shadol Fusion, I'll go over it one more time. This just adds a live twin monster from deck to hand, and each time your opponent normal summons or special summons a monster, you'll gain 200 and they'll lose 100. And you can only activate 1 per turn. On to the SRs. Ah, yes, the Fiend Smith starter. Perfect. The perfect starter for Fiend Smith. Moon in close heaven. You can target a face-up monster your opponent controls this turn. If you link summon a link 5 monster using this card you control, you can also use that opponent's monster you control. So this buffs Goddess even more. This card will definitely see play. It is very good. Essentially making Goddess even more broken than it already is. So very good. I think this will actually say, well, I shouldn't say that this card will see more play in Duel Links than it does in Master Duel, because this thing plays, it will see more play for its actual effect in Duel Links. I wouldn't say it sees more play in Duel Links than in Master Duel, because obviously Master Duel using this for every Fiend Smith combo in Donkey's boo-boo cheeks, especially now because you have Lacrima. Not that they weren't playing it anyway, but anyway, off that topic, this card will see a ton of play. It is really good, obviously. Number 73, Abyss Splash. 2 level 5 water monsters, once per turn during each player's turn, detachable material, double discards attack to the end of the turn, but any battle damage it inflicts is halved. So having the battle damage is a little bit of a deterrent, but still good to double the attack and allow it to swing over anything. We are getting APK Elshadol App Cologne. If you don't know what this card does, this card is a very good fusion monster. So basically, it takes 2 Shadol monsters to summon it with different attributes. So again, that's really not hard to do, because you have Hollow, which is fire, so you could play that. Wendy is wind, so you have that as well. The rest of them are dark for the most part, except for Ariel, which is water. So again, you have access to that as well, but not really hard to summon this, honestly. Must be first fusion summoned. Cannot be destroyed by battle. You can only use each of the effects of Elshadol App Cologne once per turn. If this card is special summoned, target one face-up monster on the field and card in the field and negate its effect. Now, what's very important about this is this says special summon. So if you revive this off of Resh later on, you can use this effect to negate any opponent's card if you revive this off Resh, because it does not need to be fusion summoned. So that's very important. Also, if it is sent to the graveyard, you can add one Shadol card from deck or graveyard to hand. Now, what's really broken about this is this also adds from graveyard and deck. So, and this says Shadol card. So, infinitely this is better than any of your Shadol fusions that you've had in the game before, because when you look at Construct, Winda, any of the other fusions, they just add a Shadol spell or trap from graveyard. This adds any Shadol card from graveyard, maximizing out your grind game by 50, and just showing you how good this card actually is. So this card is really, really strong, and it's even stronger because we have Dogmatica in the game. So cards like Nadir Servant can send this out of the extra deck to add back your Shadol cards from the graveyard or deck, so you can turn one Nadir Servant, add Schism, send your App Cologne, get Schism from deck to hand, and then this also discards for effect. So if you actively discard a Shadol card for your effect, then you will get that effect. So for instance, if I Nadir Servant, discard Squamata, send Squamata, and for the effect, I will get the effect of that Squamata. Or Wendy, or whatever you said. This is very, very strong, and this gives Shadol a huge buff as well. Albion, the Mixiola Dragon. Oh, branded dragon. So Albion is coming. Obviously, I don't see any other branded cards, which is a bit alarming, so I don't know if the deck's going to be that great, but basically, on summon can ban it, basically become a Miracle Fusion for Brandon. You can summon any level 8 or lower fusion monster from your extra deck except Albion by banishing the materials on it. Now note this says any level 8 or lower fusion. Obviously they didn't give you window with Branded because they don't want you to play Branded with it, but not that Branded I feel is going to be that strong anyway. They're missing a lot of their pieces, and we don't have, I don't see a Lubra so far. This is a little bit alarming, and some of the other key pieces to Branded, but definitely cool to see that we do have it in the game, and they may intend to give it to us later, but Branded is a very strong deck, so probably why they're very cautious to bring it in. Also, during the end phase, if this card is in your graveyard, it's very, very good. You can set any branded spell trap from your deck right to the field. So generally, you would set opening or branded in red with sending Albion to the graveyard. The common ways is either fusing it off with Cartesia, or using Lubellion to sack it off, and then using Albion's effect in the end phase to set like a branded in red or an opening out of the deck. Again, if you don't know what Branded does, don't worry about it for now. I don't see a lot of support, so I don't know if it's going to be that great, but this is really, really great card for the archetype. Alright. Chat, forgive me. I cannot pronounce this card. Just forgive me in advance if I start messing up the pronunciations of these things. Poisonore de Nouvelles. Okay. If you control a ritual monster pendulum effect, you can target one monster on the field, special summon this card, then change that monster's position. Okay? First of all, why does this card look like Sher Leblanc is the head chef of a French restaurant? What the? Looks like young Sher Leblanc in her pastime was heading a French restaurant. Alright, whatever. So you can only use Poisonore de Nouvelles once per turn. Okay, fine. Is this a tuner or is this just a... No, it's not a tuner. Okay. If this card is normal or special, you can activate one of these effects. And one level 1 ritual monster or recipe card from deck to hand. Okay, so it's essentially a manager for the archetype. Now, it is a level 1, so unless they have like a 0 pen scale... Well, I guess this could summon itself with its own pendulum effect. So I guess if you have this, in the pendulum scales as a pendulum. You can just summon this anyway, so I guess that's something you can do. And then use this effect. So, banish any amount of recipe cards from your graveyard, especially one Nouvelle ritual monster, from your hand with a level equal to the number banished. Okay, so this could cheat things out. It obviously, we already know there's going to be a level 1 ritual, so that could just cheat that out for free. Assuming you have a recipe in the graveyard, which you should be able to, I would imagine. And then if you have a lot of them, then I guess you could summon a bigger one late game or something. But yeah, this card seems really good for the archetype though. You can only use blah blah blah's effect once per turn. If this card in the field is distributed and added to the extra deck face up, you can place it in the pendulum zone. Okay, so this is really good. Now the only thing is that if you tribute a pendulum in the hand, it will go to the graveyard and won't go to the extra deck. So it would have been nice that this could go to the extra deck out of the hand, but nevertheless, it's still really good. If you normal summon this, and then you use this as a ritual material, then you can distribute her, and then she'll go in the pendulum zone for free. So then you can make pendulum plays after that if you wanted to. Or, you'll already have a ritual monster on the field, so you can just special summon her again. However, her effect is only once per turn. Oh wait, actually. No, you can only use this effect. So, yeah. Okay, yeah. You can only use the normal summon effect once per turn. So yeah. Yeah, so I think, yeah. So you can only search once per turn. Yeah, okay. Fair enough. Okay. But still really, really good. Then you can use that for follow-up or just summon it, make a link play, whatever not. Alright. All Beyond the Shrouded Dragon is another amazing card in the branded archetype. So Shrouded basically is a free Foolish Burial. You can shuffle this card from your hand to the deck, or if this is in the graveyard, you could send one Fall of the Albaz card or branded Spell Trap from deck to graveyard, and then apply one of the effects from depending on where you send it from. So if you send it from the hand, you could special summon it, which would be commonly used to do an Alba Lightning display, diffuse off your opponent's dragon monsters deck. This goes to the bottom of the deck and you draw a card, so essentially a mulligan plus a Foolish Burial. And then, yeah, so really, really good. Really, really good effect. All Beyond, really, really powerful. And it also becomes Albaz while on the field or in the graveyard. So really good. Next, the main combo extender of Dragon Link is here. White Dragon, Wyvern Buster. So we already have Collapse Serpent in the game, I think. So this just makes sense to add this. So basically you banish the dark, and then when this thing is sent to the graveyard, after you banish the dark, special summon it. When sent to the graveyard, you can add Collapse Serpent and then keep comboing the Dragon Link. Again, we do not have Striker Dragon. I don't know if we got any of the card dragons in here. I know, yeah. So we'll have to see what else we got, but this is a buff to anyone looking to play Dragon Link in the future for sure. Glorious Numbers. If you control no monsters, target one number exceeding graveyard, special summon, draw a card. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one normal exceed. Oh, the random follow while I'm streaming. Excellent. While I'm recording. Appreciate that follow. Special summon it, then draw a card. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one number exceed, attach one card from your added material. Okay. So, basically buffs the random weirdest skill. So, there you go. Okay. Concours de Cuisine Culinary Confrontation. Okay, there. Sher Leblanc is very excited. Look, see? She is very excited to show off her, what is that? Strawberry pancakes versus chocolate cake? She's ready to throw it at them. Alright. Listen, next time you play Flora, ask Sherry to make you a chocolate cake. Alright. Choose one Nouvelles Pendulum Monster and one Potaskili Pendulum Monster from your hand. I'm telling you, when we play this deck on stream, it is going to be a comedy, me pronouncing all this. And from your hand deck or extra deck. Okay. Okay. Special summon Bolt, one to each field. Okay. You cannot use monsters as fusion for fusion, synchro, exceed, or link summon except for Nouvelles and skeetily monsters. During your main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard, and then target one face-up monster on the field that gains 200 attack for each recipe card in the graveyard. You can only use each effect of blah 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 once per turn. Alright, so this could summon, I don't know why you're summoning to your opponent's field, but it seems terrible like a mirror. Why would you want to give your opponent a plus? But who knows? Maybe there's something with the archetype that allows you to do that. But yeah, nice. Gets a starter. This is a starter for you at least, and get you a Nouvelles, and then get your plays going. So nice. Light Twin Lila Tree. Also, these Nouvelles all seem like they're SR, so this should be a pretty free to play archetype, honestly. Light Twin Lila Treat. If you control a Kiss to Kill, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon Lila Treat once per turn. This way, when either player takes damage involving an evil twin, you can banish this card from your graveyard and target one face-up monster your opponent controls. Okay, it loses attack equal to the battle damage. We already have this in the game, and we already have Kiss to Kill, so there's really no need to go over this. But basically, when your opponent adds from deck to hand, you get to draw a card. So there you go. While you control an evil twin monster, and then this gets special summon itself while you control Lila. Oh, we are getting Pisty. Okay, so Guard Dragon and Pisty is coming. It takes one level 4 lower dragon. Basically, you cannot special summon it with monster skip for dragon. You can target one do your dragon monsters that are banished to the graveyard. Special summon to the zone that 2 more link monsters point to. Now, this is important for dragon for the warlord skill because we already add. This is a dark dragon, so you can play it in there. So that's very important. They might play Pisty, because then you could just like bring back Tracer or whatever not, and summon it to like an easy zone that 2 of them point to. So we already have. So now that you have Pisty, we already have the Link 3 Rocket Monster. I forget what it's called, but you could summon it to that zone and then start comboing off. You could also use the Quad Boral, and Quad Boral will point down. Actually, that's really good. Now that I think about it. Oh my gosh, you're going to be able to combo off with that, aren't you? No, triple burst. Yeah, triple burst. No, it has to be triple burst, because otherwise you'll have no zone to summon Quad Boral too. Yeah, the Guard Dragon Pisty. Yeah, so, yeah, but that's still really good going second anyway, because then you can make triple burst really easily, and then go Pisty on the left side. Yeah, and then Pisty on the left side, and then open up that zone. Yeah, that should work out for you. Okay. I think, yeah. You'd have to do it a bit weirder in Duel Links than you wouldn't have to Master Duel, because when we have the far left extra deck zone, you won't have a left zone prior to that, so you're going to have to summon it to the far right, open up that left zone, and then summon whatever you want to Pisty zone, so it's a little bit weirder. Yeah, so it's going to be a bit weirder in Duel Links, but you can still do that play regardless. Yeah, okay. To 2 or more zones that link monsters. Pointers are really, really good. Pisty. Might want to try this out in Warlink. This is nice. We're already onto the rares. That's insane. High Speedroid Rubber Band Shooter. 2 win monsters. During your main phase, you can immediately after this card resolves, normal summon a win. So again, this is a free normal summon, so that's very good. Obviously, and it locks you into synchro monsters, which is fine because that's pretty much all you're doing with Speedroid anyway. You can banish 1 win synchro monster from your extra deck. Reveal 2 Speedroid monsters with different names from the deck. Your deck whose total levels equal to the synchro monster. So if you reveal Clearwing, then you can reveal Terratop and Yo-Yo. Your opponent picks 1 for you, add it to your hand, and send the other to the graveyard. So this is really good. This is a +1. No matter what you add, if you choose Take, Tomborg, and Yo-Yo and reveal Clearwing, then there you go. You get a free +1 to hand. So obviously this is really, really good. Makes Rubber Band Shooter really nice. Yeah, nice. Golden Cloud Beast Malong. 1 tuner plus 1 or more non-tuners. So because it's generic. Dragon. If this card is special summon, you can increase or decrease this level by 1. Okay, sure. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 face-up card your opponent controls and return it to your hand. Okay, so this is really good with Nadir Servant. That's pretty much what you're using this for. You're going to activate Nadir Servant. You're going to be able to send this. If you don't want to send Intis or Dogmatic, a punishment target. It's another punishment target, and then this can compulse their monster. So, yeah, another Nadir target. That's what you should look at this for, but nice. Next. Actually, you know what? I should bring up one more thing. This can be used in floor as well. So maybe if you make this like a floor deck and then link it off or something, you can post them. But again, this doesn't really get combo with Necrosynchro because it's not a win, but yeah, it's still interesting to say nonetheless. Okay, next. Pataskill Kovacic. Okay, Kovacic. Okay, Pataskill Kovacic. If you have no card in your other pendulum zone, you can place one face-up pendulum monster for your extra deck in your pendulum zone. Okay. So, okay. How the heck are we fusion summoning in this deck? Alright, well. I guess maybe the recipe cards do it. You can place one. Okay, fine. So, if you have nothing in the pendulum zone, and this is in the pendulum scale, then you get a free scales. So, it's good to be free scales later on. I guess some reason this gets in here. Pendulum scales. Okay. 2 pendulum monsters. So this... The on-ice skill does not lock the extra deck, so technically you could summon there. I don't know if the perform on-ice whatever has to make a specific on-ice fusion, or you can just summon this. So basically, if this card in the monster zone is destroyed, you can place this card in the pendulum zone. Okay. This sounds absolutely terrible. Maybe there's a reason for this, but this card does not seem good. I don't get it. It doesn't really have an effect. It just summons itself for no reason. Maybe there's a way to destroy it. I don't know. Interesting, but sure. Alright, here come the rituals. Goodness. Okay. The Nouvelles. Okay. You can ritual summon this with a recipe card. If this card is normal or special summon, you can add 1 Nouvelles or recipe card from deck to hand. Alright, so on summon, searches, very good. You can target 1 attack position monster opponent controls, tribute it. Oh, so this is literally Ambulomelodus. Okay, perfect. But you don't need a Predator counter. Although if they summon everything in defense, look out. It has to be an attack. Well, then again, I guess that makes sense for the level 1 now. Okay, so the Sher Leblanc level 1 basically can put that to attack mode for you. Okay, so now that makes sense. So that way your opponent can just play around this. Tribute it, and if you do special summon level 6, Nouvelles Ritual from deck. This is a quick effect. Oh, if this was special summoned by a Nouvelles monster. Okay, so this honestly becomes even more powerful if you summon this off a Nouvelles monster, because that is a quick effect. Tribute your opponent's attack position monster. So this is obviously a really good effect if you summon this by some Nouvelles monsters. So really, really good effect. This card is very nice. I still think this deck needs a more powerful win con, but this card's like a good card to get you there, but not by itself. I don't think it's going to be strong enough, but we'll see what else they have. Alright. Oh, another ritual. Okay. This guy looks like alien from outer space that is eating a steak. Alright, cool. By the Grill de Nouvelles. You can ritual summon this with a recipe card. If this card is special summon, you can negate the effects of all face-up cards your opponent currently controls until the end of the turn. Now, very important that immediately that if this card is special summon, it gains that effect. So, very important that it can be special summoned off your ritual monster's effects, not necessarily ritual summon to get that effect. So you can do that as well. Then if this card was special summoned by the effect of a Nouvelles monster, you contribute as many monsters your opponent controls as possible. Hello? What the? You just sack your opponent's board with this. I love how this is tribute as well, because that basically means that It basically means that anything that would protect from destruction or whatnot pretty much dodges. So if you go up against Resonator, and as long as you, like, I don't know, negate, like, the Resonator in their Soul Red, if you negate, like, the Hot Red Abyss, or if you dodge, like, Fiendish Shade, and you sack their whole board, it'd be funny. This deck seems very funny. I want to play it for sure. That's kind of crazy. Okay. Quick effect. You could target one attack position monster, tribute it, and if you do, special summon a Hungry Burger from their deck. Hell yeah, brother! Finally! Hungry Burger is here and it is top tier. Yeah, man, I really wish this deck had gotten a skill behind it. Like, this deck should have gotten a skill. This is, like, one of these decks that should have really gotten a skill behind it, but, this seems really, really, this card seems really, really sacky. They're just gonna, like, you're gonna have a response, and then you're gonna drop this thing off, and then your whole board is gonna be gone. But what's even crazier is, like, even if you Fiendish this first effect, then you can, chain its second effect to, like, bring out, tribute their attack position monster and summon, like, a Hungry Burger. So this card's kind of crazy, honestly. This card is kind of an insane effect. Holy moly. Now, as far as I know, the only way you special summon the Nouvelles, I don't kind of get the fusion. The fusion's kind of weird. But, nevertheless, you can special summon each of the rituals out with their, yeah. So this one could sack your opponent's monster and then bring it out. And then this one can, yeah, they both have that effect, honestly. Yeah, they can both sack the opponent's monster. But this being a quick effect is so strong. Because if you were able to summon this with a Nouvelles monster and they go to negate it, then you could still do that. But you can still bring out this one anyway with this effect. So they kind of all work together. There's still level 1 ritual monsters that we haven't read yet, but maybe they have some additional effects. But these here seem really, really strong for what they do. Especially in Duel Links. So yeah. Again, this gets the effect if it's special summoned. Yeah. And then this becomes a quick effect if this was special summoned by a Nouvelles monster. So if you summon this out with this one out with this, then you can get that effect. Yeah, I definitely want to try this deck out. This seems really fun. And it seems, and this is free to play. I definitely would like to get cog with this. This is 100% free to play deck too. Really nice. No URs. White Knight of Dogmatica. Okay. You can ritual summon this with Dogmatic Calamity. You can special summon, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck. If your opponent activates a card effect during the damage step, you could send one monster from the extra deck to the graveyard. Yes, this is the steals your opponent's extra deck. Then look at your opponent's extra deck and send one monster from it to the graveyard. This card gains attack equal to the combined attack of those monsters. So, yeah, good move for Dogmatica. Okay, so we are getting this, the Collapse Serpent. So it's either coming. Oh, I guess we didn't have it. Okay. Alright. Parapera Cerebus. Okay. So, Collapse Serpent's basically the opposite to Wyvern Buster. So, yeah, there's that. Parapera Cerebus, if you take damage, be it battle or by opponent's card effect while it's in the graveyard, banish this card from the graveyard, then target one card in the field and destroy it. So, if you take damage by battle or card effect while it's in the graveyard, banish it, target a card in the field, destroy it. So, really nice. Not really nice, but it's okay. Still slow right now. Okay, we're getting Marble Machine. Once per turn, when a defense position monster is targeted for an attack, you can change it to attack, and also can't be destroyed. On summon, adds any Speedroid monster from deck to hand. It's a bit expensive to get this up for the normal summon, so I don't know if you're going to play this. Well, maybe with Rubber Band you will, because Rubber Band will give you another normal summon. So, yeah, so this will give you a Speedroid from deck to hand, so nice! It does lock you in the win, but you really don't care. Ariel is an incredible card for Shaddoll, as this on flip will target any of your banished Shadolls and special summon it. So this can bring back a construct for a grind game, or if sent to the graveyard by card effect, you target up to 3 cards in graveyard and banish them. So this is instantly just banishes 3 cards out of the grave, which is really, really powerful effect, obviously. So, you know, this is really, really good. You can only use 1 Ariel effect per turn and once per turn, so really, really powerful. Dogmatica Maximus is here. Now, this card I do fear a bit in Duel Links because this card is very, very powerful at what it does. And it could be very, very powerful also for the Shaddoll strategy as well, as it is a spellcaster and can be summoned under the skill. And you'll get about to see why in a second. I think it's even more powerful to play the Dogmatica version outside of not having the invoke stuff in Duel Links than it is was in Master Duel. And the reason why I say this is because of the skill doing what it does already. So you can banish 1 fusion, synchro, exceed, or link monster from your graveyard, special summon this card for you. And during your main phase, you can activate this effect, send 2 monsters with your different names from your extra deck to the graveyard. Also, your opponent sends 2 monsters from their extra deck to the graveyard. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn. You're going to summon this at the end of your play for Shadolls, which is really, really crazy. This card does a lot, and the problem with a card like this, I feel in Duel Links, I don't think this card should have came, because the problem with Maximus is it's very toxic when there's an 8-card extra deck in Duel Links, because basically, if you go up against something, let's say like Speedroid, they already have to eject 2 cards out of their extra deck to the graveyard when they're already restricted to like 7 cards, so you're already hitting a lot of their combo pieces already on turn 1. So this card can be very toxic depending on what deck you go against. There are decks in the game that do require them to have basically all their extra deck in order to win. So, you know, you go up against something like Resonator, and then they have to like cook like 2 of their grind game to the graveyard. So it's a little bit toxic. Yeah, I'm not really thrilled that this card is here in Duel Links. I think this card's a little bit too powerful for Duel Links. Another thing that's really good about this card, and I said this specifically the Shaddoll variant, is that you don't care what you eject to the graveyard, because pretty much you have all your Shadolls that just add back for you. Now, while that still was a thing in Master Duel, the one thing you did not have is the ability to start with Res Shaddoll in the graveyard. So essentially, turn 1, you can activate this effect. You can send 2 Shadolls out of your extra deck, App Cologne, and whatever else. And you have a billion of them to do, so you can just send whatever. And then you get to add back Resh and add Schism immediately. So that's insanely good. Because without even committing to a Shaddoll play, you already have access to Resh and Schism. So that is very, very powerful, as you can see. And the ability to rip your opponent's extra deck at that. So, obviously, really, really good. It's going to make Nadir Servant so good in Shaddoll. It's going to be, yeah. This card is very, 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 very good. Obviously, you don't even have to do it if you don't want to. You could just go for your same play that still gets you Resh and or Schism already. But this just gives you the option to be able to do that. So, that's even good. And you don't even have to grab Schism. Like, you could even go App Cologne, search Squamata send Wendy, Wendy summon, like, Dragon or Hound or Hollow or whatever you want from the deck. And Hollow is going to be really good now. And I'm going to explain it once we go over the new Shaddoll skill. Well, Hollow is going to be really, really disgusting. Alright. Next, we're getting Gazer Shark. And now this will work with the skill. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 2 level 5 monsters in your graveyard, special summon them, and immediately exceed summon using those 2. So if you get this to the graveyard really easy, this card is actually good because it's a 1 card exceed. And you can use that effect immediately when it hits the grave. You don't have to wait a turn. So if this card's sent to the graveyard, you can revive, make it exceed, and then really, really good. So nice for the deck. Next, we get Branded in White. But truth be told, we already have the Branded in White in the game. It's called Ancient Gear Duel. Mix is going, Sean, watch it, Sean. Watch it. Then fighting words, Sean. Then fighting words. No. Basically, you get to fusion summon 1 fusion monster. It's basically Miracle Fusion for Brandon by banishing, using monsters from hand or field, including a dragon. But if you're using Fallen Albaz, then you can banish monsters from the graveyard. Yeah. So if you use Fallen Albaz, you can banish monsters from a graveyard. That includes Shrouded, and that includes Albaz itself. During the end phase, this card was sent to the graveyard to activate the effect of the Fallen Albaz card, including Shrouded Dragon. Then you can add this card from grave to hand. I mean, not add it from hand. You set it. So you can set it. So you could use the effect of Branded in White once per turn. Next, we're getting Branded Bond. Basically, this special summons an Albaz from hand or in graveyard. It makes sense with the skill, but yeah. If this card is in the graveyard because it was sent there to activate Fallen Albaz, you can set this card. So, if you discard it off Fallen Albaz, then you can set it. So, cool. Next. Nouvelles restaurant at table. Alright, time to join Sherry's table. And that actually looks like a nice restaurant. Holy mackerel. Really nice. Hope the service is good. When this card is activated, you can add a recipe card from deck or graveyard to hand. Okay, so really good starter already. Nice. Once per turn, you can place a ritual monster from your hand or bottom of the deck, draw one card. So already, I'm not even finished reading this spell, and this is already really good. Obviously, this is a Stratos right off the bat. So the minute you activate this thing, hit any recipe card from deck to hand. So that's automatically a +1. This can, what's the word I'm looking for? Essentially, can shuffle any ritual spell, mulligan any ritual monster, not ritual spell, any ritual monster from bottom deck, draw a card. So really, really good. Once per turn during your end phase, you can target 2 cards in your graveyard, including a recipe card. Place them at the bottom of the deck in any order, then draw 1 card. So this is a fantastic card for the archetype. Absolutely fantastic. Get you your rituals in play. Helps you with the consistency because you can unbrick your rituals, add on summon, unbrick your rituals, and then place 2 in the graveyard to draw a card in the end phase. So this is essentially a +2 when you're thinking about it. Given that you probably run some hand traps with this deck and you want to draw some cards that can be impactful on your opponent's turn. So very nice. Now we're getting Voicy Alcott, today's menu. Oh my gosh. Alright. Reveal 2 Nouvelles monsters with different names from your deck. Your opponent chooses one and adds it to your hand. You shuffle the other in the deck, then you can add one of these cards from deck or graveyard to your hand based on the type of monster added. Stuff that. Okay. Beast Warrior. Reete Poison. Fish recipe. Reete Poison. Warrior. Reete Vinanda. Meat recipe. You can only activate 1 Voicy Alcott card once per turn. Mastercard's better be in stream when I play this because he better pronounce this for me. So you can add meat recipe or fish recipe depending on what's been added to your hand. Okay. So I guess both of them kind of like, okay, so this is fine. Even though doesn't matter what they add because you can pretty much get to the other one anyway, so this is still really good for the deck. This is a +1, so obviously really, really good. Oh. Excuse me. So yeah, basically, this card's a +1, so yeah, obviously really, really good. Yeah. Next, we're getting, okay, we already have all these cards, so I'm gonna speed this up because we are already 48 minutes in. I'm speeding this up. Shadol Anautilus. 1 Shadol plus 1 water, must be fused and summoned. Neither player can special summon monsters from hand or graveyard using spell or trap effects. Now, we have to think in context what already summons from different areas with spell and trap effects. Is there any deck that really dislocks? Well, immediately, the Nouvelles deck kind of gets floodgated because ritual monsters technically want to summon from the hand, so that's a bit annoying, but you can still tribute on the field. What else is in the game that does this? Spell and trap effects. That's like highly situational. Resonator, I guess they can't summon off Crimson Gaia, but it's like not needed necessarily. Dino, but Dino, that's hand or graveyard. They summon UCT from the deck. Yeah, so I don't think this card's gonna be great. Yeah. I mean, may come up with like random strategy or something, but for the most part, what I could think of, doesn't really like, I guess hero, but they don't really summon from the grave with a Spell Trap effect. They summon from the extra deck, so no, this doesn't even help here. Yeah, so this is pretty much doo-doo poo-poo. This card is pretty much doo-doo poo-poo. Unless you go up against some like random strategy, this card is not really good. Except if you really want a water target to send off Schism, then you play it for that. But not for its effect. Its effect is no good. There's no bueno. No bueno. Unless you go up like against some random strategy. Maybe you get some like random strategies to come up, but yeah. Oh, we have 4 more rituals. Holy mackerel. How many rituals are in this deck? Alright. Publici de Nouvelles. Okay. Whatever. You can ritual summon this with a recipe card. If this card is special summon, you can excavate the top 5 cards of your deck and add 1 Nouvelles cards from deck to hand. Okay. Also shuffle the rest of the deck. When a card effect is activated, it targets this card in the field. Or when this card is targeted for an attack, you tribute this card and 1 attack position monster at either field. And if you do, special summon 1 level 2 or 3 Nouvelles ritual monster from and or deck. So your opponent is not going to finish this thing. Now the interesting thing is, and this is very important because I see already synergy already, that it says when a card or effect is activated that targets this card in the field. Now, if I remember correctly, and we scroll up really quick and we click on this thing, this can target your own, right? Yeah. So you can target your own ritual with the Culinary de Nouvelles, and then with that you can target this, change its battle position, then chain this effect, and like almost like you would with Maiden of White, not Maiden, Maiden in whatever the level 1 is for Blue Eyes that summons 1 out of the deck, not the new tuner. So you can change this battle position, and then after that, specials use its effect to summon 1 level 2 or 3 from your hand or deck, and then sack your opponent's monster. So really, really cool. That's really nice. Conférence de Nouvelles. Okay. Alright. This guy is going to make me scared to eat chicken ever again. I'm going to be totally feared to eat chicken. You can ritual summon this card with a recipe card. If this card is special summon, you can target 1 spell or trap on the field and destroy it. Okay. When a card or effect is activated that targets this card, or when it targets your attack, contribute this card and summon 1 level 3 or 4 Nouvelles from the deck. So these are nice little starters to get you into your other plays. Politis de Nouvelles. When you ritual summon this with a recipe card, if the card is special summon, draw 1 card. When a card is activated okay, so they all do this. They all do this, except that they summon different monsters out of the deck. So this one summons a 4 or 5. So, again, you want to target them yourself. That's kind of the gist I'm getting. Again, I think this deck would be so good if it had, like, a skill behind it. Yeah. Special summon a level 4 or 5. Okay, so this one summons a 4 or 5. This summons a 3 or 4, and this summons a 2 or 3. Okay. So I'm guessing this one summons a 5 or 6. Okay. Yeah, okay. So this draws a card on summon. Okay, very, very fun. For Gaste de Nouvelles, you can ritual summon this with a recipe card. It's a special summon. You can target up to 3 cards in a graveyard, shuffle them in the deck. Okay. When a card activates, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so it summons a 5 or 6. Okay. So this shuffles, this draws, this pops ball trap, and this adds. Okay. Alright, we already have Panther and Eagle, I think, with 2 skills already. Okay, here come the recipe cards. Alright. So, we're going to go through these pretty quick. If your opponent controls 2 or more monsters, you can normal summon this without tributing. If you control Panther, summon it from the hand. Okay. Eagle, if your opponent controls 2 more monsters, you can normal summon this. If you control Panther, you can special summon this from the hand. Okay, fair, fair. They basically vice versa effect. Go Gurum, if this is special summon. If this card summon, change the battle position of this card. This card is destroyed. Send 1 go from deck to grave. Okay. Speedroid Domino Butterfly. You cannot pendulum summon except for wins. This effect cannot be negated. You can discard One win monster target, one of your banished wins added to your hand. Okay. Cannot be used as synchro material except for synchro summon of a wind dragon synchro. Discard special from the extra deck. And use it with synchro material banishing. Okay. Cute. Ultra Hound. If this is normal summon, send a Speedroid from deck to grave. Okay. During your main phase, except the turn this is sent to the graveyard, banish one discard from the grave. Then target one Speedroid in your graveyard, shuffle the deck. And if you do special summon one Speedroid synchro with a different name, but negate its effects. With the same level. Okay, it has to be the same level. Okay, so. Alright, fine. This could be nice too. Well, this is special summon, so it doesn't synchro summon it. So, yeah. So this card's probably not great. Magic card. You can discard one water monster. Discard gains 500 attack. When this card destroys an opponent's monster in battle, should be a discard special one fish, sea serpent, or aqua from hand or deck. Okay. I don't think this is destroying anything in battle with 500 attack. It's his weakest magic card. Excellent. Fish recipe. Alright, here we go. Reete Poison. Alright. Card can be used to ritual summon any Nouvelles for ritual. It must tribute hand or field that equal or exceed the level of the ritual you summon. Then if you summon Nouvelles, you could apply this following effect. Okay. And one ritual spell, recipe ritual spell from deck or grade to end. Okay. So I guess you're meant to climb into these things. So this one summons this. So you summon this. But the weird looking shrimp sticking out of it, I guess. Either a shrimp or a crawfish. And it looks like some oysters. So you summon this. And then with this, you get that effect. Okay. So it kind of makes sense here. Recipe de les Vienna meat recipe. Alright, this card can normal summon any Nouvelles. You must tribute any monsters from the field who exceed their level of ritual. Blah blah blah. Then if you summon Confrontes, the Nouvelles, you change all defense position monsters your opponent controls to attack position. So you put them all to attack position, and then, yeah, you start stacking them. Okay. Alright, Dogmatic Alabrity. This could be summon any dogmatic ritual. You must tribute monsters in the hand or field that exceed the ritual. Or summon one monster from your deck to the graveyard who equals the ritual from the ritual summon. So obviously, good Dogmatica, obviously, because you can summon White Knight and send anything to the extra deck and get free material. But this locks you out of the extra deck for the rest of the turn. Exceed Shift. Tribute one Exceed. Special summon one from your extra deck that has the same type, attribute, rank, distributed monster, but with a different name. And if you do, attach this as material. So, I wonder if Battle and Boxer would use something like this. This would actually be interesting for them. Because it has the same attribute and rank for everything. Literally. So, like, you could just go into Dempsey, sack it, summon one with a different name, and then attach it. I don't know. Probably not. So what's a Burning Light? While you control no monsters, your opponent cannot declare attacks. Alright, this is not good. Evil Twin Challenge. Target one Kiss a Kill or Lila monster in your graveyard. Special summon it, then apply the following effect. Immediately link summon one that you control as material. So yeah, this card's not that great. Next we have Reete Poison. Snap Recipe. You can target one ritual monster you control, special summon a Nouvelles token. The token's level becomes the same as that monster. You can send this card from your spell trap zone, special summon one Nouvelles ritual by attributing monsters from hand or field to exactly equal the level of that ritual monster. Okay. Seems a bit slow, but sure. Chef's Special Recipe. Oh, they have a counter trap. Look at the burger. It's coming and it's attacking you. He looks like a pissed off soul burner. That's what he looks like. Looks like Soulbird and Sherry are running a restaurant. Oh god. Clicked off it. Alright. When a spell trap or monster effect is activated when you control Nouvelles, negate the activation that destroys the card. Okay, so they have an Omni negate. That's obviously really good. If you control a monster and a special summon by a Nouvelles, okay, monster, you can special summon one Hungry Burger. Okay. Wait. Then you can destroy the card if you control a monster with special. Okay, so it destroys it if you control a monster with special by Nouvelles. If you special summon Hungry Burger, you can banish this card from the graveyard. Tribute as many monsters you want to. This is broken. This card is broken. Doesn't even have to be attack visit. You just sack their whole board. Oh my. This deck is gonna be sacky as hell. I can see this deck now. This deck is just gonna sack your opponent. You're gonna face your opponent. They're not gonna. There's gonna be 100 cards that they don't want to read, and then they're just gonna get their whole board sacked. They're gonna sit there for 5 minutes wondering what happened, and then they're just gonna scoop. I want a cog with this deck, man. I really want a cog with this deck. This deck is a piss ass. This deck is a literal piss ass. This card is broken. This is like, oh, what if we made an Omni Gate that just sacks your opponent's board? And there is one that summons Hungry Burger. I forgot what it's called, but I know there's a ritual that does it. Does any of the rare ones do it? What is this? They have to be Nouvelles. Okay, so Hungry Burger is not a Nouvelles. Yeah, this is what does it. Yeah. Yeah. This is the one that sacks your opponent's thing to bring out the Hungry Burger. Okay. But they're 5 or 6, so this one could bring it as well. Yeah, so this one can bring out the 5 or 6, and then you can bring out the Hungry Burgers. Okay. Oh boy, this deck is something else. This deck is definitely something else. If you resolve this, you should be winning the game. Yeah. Now there are some that add a recipe card. This is a recipe card, so you can search the counter trap really easily. So obviously having an Omni negate is really good. I don't need to really discard it. It's really Salamand Great Roar on steroids for this archetype. So yeah. Alright. We already have this in game. When your opponent's monster declares an attack, you reveal one monster in hand to negate the attack. Oh. Alright, well, for the most part, that's pretty much the box. That's pretty much the box. We've gone too far, too long. All these cards we just have in the game already. So, I'm not going to go over what we already have. Pretty much already have most of these things, and these I went over before. So yeah, that's the box review. What do I think? I think Shadol is going to go back to being meta. It is really, really strong right now. They got a major buff. Speedroid seemed very interesting. I think like Shadol is the highlight from this box. Speedroid definitely get a significant buff. We'll have to see if they can be meta. Branded, unfortunately, isn't good enough from what I've seen so far. Basically, we went over the Shadol skill last video, but what we didn't add is that the Shadol skill adds 6 of the fusions to the extra deck, and you are getting Winda, and Schism is a rare, so this is a big buff to Shadol. So Shadol to me seems like the best meta contender out of this box. Speedroid I put behind it. Nouvelles seems like a fun deck. Maybe it could actually be a rogue deck depending on how consistent and how fun it pops off. It definitely seems like a really fun deck. I'd like to see where it goes. Utopia, I don't know at this point. I don't know what exactly it's going to do, so we'll have to see. But, yeah. The big thing to take away is Shadol is the big game changer out of this box. For sure. So, yeah. That's going to be the video. Expect a box opening when it comes out. But until then, it's your boy Shomatry signing out. Bye, YouTube.